Oh, hey players. So, near my house is a little deli with the words Deli-icious spray painted on its front gate. It'll forever remain whether or not this guy's food is actually deli-icious, but one thing that is for sure is that if we didn't have graffiti, our society as we know it would fall. There are several types of graffiti artists, but the two I want to talk about are actual artists and straight up bombers. The difference between the two is that one has actual consent by the property owner to draw on his piece, whereas the other one just kinda does it because he wants to. A bomber tags to leave his mark, often claiming what he tags to be his territory. So just looking at what the root of the word artist means, it begs us to ask the question, which one is the real artist? The truth is, graffiti can be both beautiful and horrendous, but that's just a matter of subjectivity. What isn't a matter of subjectivity is who owns rights to the lands being tagged on. I mean, it's obvious that stores and homes belong to someone, but then when we get into areas such as train stations and parks, we claim that belongs to the community. And looking at art over time, we could see that most artists act out of their relative space and they're not limited by only using the canvas. Technically, any surface can be considered a canvas, and if it belongs to the community, what's to say I don't have rights to draw on it? Art is expressive. Art is meant to be free. So why should public and private property be off limits for me to create my art on? If your answer to that is that, well, people pay large sums of money to get tiny little deeds that say, hey, this land belongs to me. But it begs me to ask the question, can anyone really own land? Can we really even own anything other than our own bodies? This led me to question the entire fabric of laws in society. I mean, if a graffiti artist is risking his life climbing up fire escapes and illegally into train stations, why would he concern himself with laws? Why not just ignore them? When you go bombing to tag your name, you know you're doing something illegal. So your mindset is not in the state where, what can I do to follow the law? It's what can I do to avoid it? A world in which we would never be able to safely sleep at night because we'd always have the fear that our neighbors were going to break in our houses to steal our food, kill our families, and rape our women. But back to graffiti. Graffiti is a great example of duality in action. Much like a knife can be used to cut food and stab a person, there lies this element of trust and understanding built into our social construct that allows us to feel safe. If I walk into someone's home and see a knife, I won't attack them in fear because I know that it's there to cut food and not kill me. Hopefully. The spray can in one's hands is not an evil tool, but it depends on whose hands it's in that determines the action. Commission graffiti is a way for artists to express themselves without breaking the law. The problem with that is that you're really limited in your creativity. Street graffiti allows for the utmost freedom, where the world is your canvas to draw on. The problem with that is if your community doesn't agree with what you're drawing on, you're kind of being a dick. In my eyes, street graffiti can be a nuisance, but it's a non-lethal way to remind us as to why we have laws. And without laws, we wouldn't have things like stop signs, clean drinking water, or trusted graffiti artists to paint deli-icious on the front of your store. Like this video if you agree that artists should always be allowed to express themselves. Leave a comment letting me know. Do you think street graffiti is art or vandalism? And subscribe to the channel for more philosophical debates and migraine-inducing discussions. As always guys, love and peace.